Hello everybody. Well, it's a cold damp day today and we need something warming for supper. However, Dan is going out later on this evening, so he's having an early tea. I thought I would make him a Lancashire Hot Pot. My nan used to make these quite often. My mum's mum was from Lancashire. Now normally I might use scrag end or neck of lamb. I don't have any, but I do have this diced casserole lamb from Iceland. You cook it from frozen. It was on a 3 for £10 offer. So in effect it was about £3.30-ish, which isn't too bad. It's pretty good value. I have heated a small slow cooker to high. I did that about half an hour ago. So without further ado, I'm going to pour a little olive oil into the crock pot and I'm going to add the lamb. So let's get started. I've tipped in the lamb pieces. You can hear it start to sizzle. That will start to cook down in the crock pot. It'll probably take about 15 or 20 minutes. The meat will shrink a little bit, but that's quite normal. In the meantime, I've prepared about half a large onion and some carrot chunks. I've also picked some rosemary and oregano from the garden. That will go in. And over here I have 3 red potatoes. I'm going to leave the skins on. I'll just cut out the little eyes there and any other blemishes, and I'll slice them as finely as possible. The potatoes have all been washed. These are from an organic veg box. We also have some potatoes which we keep in the shed, and we just bring through what we need for about a week at a time. This house is quite humid, so nothing keeps particularly well. We find the shed has better temperature for storing root vegetables and fruits and apples and such. Slice the potato as thinly as you can, but don't worry if you can't slice it very thinly. What I may do is cook them off for a few minutes just to soften them a bit more and pat them dry. You can also use a mandolin. I don't have one. The mandolin will allow you to cut things very finely, but be careful with your fingers, they are very sharp. I'm doing mine the old-fashioned way. That will probably actually be enough potato. The potato goes on top. If the lamb cooks down quite a lot, I may add this potato. I'll put that aside for now. I'll see how I get on. In the meantime, I'm going to let these soak for about 10 minutes to get some of the starch out, and then I'm going to put them in the microwave for about 3 or 4 minutes just to parboil, and it will make the whole cooking process a lot quicker. Dan needs his tea before 6 o'clock tonight. While the lamb continues to cook, let's have a look at what it says on the pack. It says, for best results, cook from frozen. The following instructions are guidelines only. Ensure the product is piping hot before serving. Cooking time may vary slightly due to size and thickness of portion. Pan frying oven from frozen 2 hours 30 minutes. Preheat oven fan 160, gas 3. Pour a little oil in a frying pan and heat over a medium flame. Add required amount to the pan. Stir frequently until browned all over, reduce heat if necessary. Transfer to an oven-proof dish, add veg and stock, cover and cook near the middle of the oven for a minimum of 2 hours 30 minutes. It's now just gone 2 o'clock, so that'll do nicely. This is going to be cooking for about 3.5 hours, which should be about right. I've set the slow cooker to high. That should be just about right. So stir occasionally and add more stock if necessary. Find with something like a Lancashire Hot Pot, you don't add loads of stock, just a little bit. It steams in all those good juices from the meat and the onions. Just add a little bit of stock because of course the onions have quite a high water content and will produce some water. You don't want it too runny. This isn't the kind of dish that you would normally thicken. I'm going to be using some veg water. I'm going to heat up the veg water till it's hot and then add it to the pan. If you're using the crock pot when it's cold, add cold water or cold stock, don't add hot. And if you heat up the crock pot first, don't add cold liquid, add it hot. This meat is from New Zealand. It was frozen on the 7th of October 2024. It's now the 5th of November. This has been pretty new, delivered to Iceland. I placed my last Iceland order about 2 weeks ago. I've got food coming again tomorrow. And it contains just diced lamb. It says keep frozen at -18 or colder. For best before, see front of pack. Do not refreeze after defrosting. And you can recycle the packaging as well. It hasn't got a best before date on, it's not on there. But normally you can freeze meat for up to about 6 months before it's past its best. There's 350 grams in that packet. I've parboiled the potatoes, I've drained them through a colander, and now they will stand just to air dry. They're a lovely variety. These are probably going to be slightly waxy, which is perfect for this recipe. The meat's still cooking away, and I've added a little salt and pepper, which I've mixed into the meat. It's cooked down quite a bit. Soon I'll be ready to add the onions. Look at that. That's gorgeous. It's made its own gravy. I'm going to now add the onion. And give that a good stir. And pop the lid back on. That'll probably take another 5 or 10 minutes. This is doing beautifully. Look at all that. It's made some lovely stock. That's all natural. I'm now going to chuck in the carrots and top the whole thing with potatoes. Give this a stir through. I will add the herbs. There we go. Doesn't that look beautiful? And now it's time to layer the top with the potato slices. You want enough potato on top, it acts like a lid. I'm going to carry on layering this up. My nan made this at least once a fortnight. She had set days for dishes. So Sunday was the roast, Monday was leftovers, Tuesday she'd make something like boborti, which is a South African lightly spiced curry and things like, usually with sultanas and things like that. Wednesday was usually burgers or liver and onions. Then Thursday there would be pie and mash, and then Friday was fish, and then Saturday would be salad, trifle, cakes, and it was pretty much the same, except that sometimes on a Wednesday or Thursday, instead of liver and onions or pie, there would be a Lancashire Hot Pot. When I was growing up, I would go to school often on a Tuesday, and when I was younger, Granny didn't tend to do boborti, she'd do homemade quiche, and I was always in charge of chipping the potatoes and frying them in a proper chip basket. There's nothing like a proper chip basket. Right, that's lovely. All I need to do now is add a little bit of salt and pepper and a knob of butter and pour in some hot stock. There we go. That's about a cup of hot stock. This is just vegetable water. Nothing in this house is wasted. We're very frugal. A bit of salt, a bit of pepper, and a knob of butter. I'll break this up like that. And it'll all meld into the dish and make it taste wonderful for Dan. And I'll be serving that to him with some peas. The hot pot is ready now. Look at that. Dan's really going to enjoy this for his supper. And there's a nice little bit of liquid there, not too much. You can just see the stock there. It's kept it nice and tender. So I'm going to serve him a big old bowl full of this, and I'll give him some peas as well. And then he can tell me what he thinks of it. Is that enough peas for you, Dan?
That's perfect.
Carefully lift it out into the bowl. Make sure it has plenty of all that lovely goodness. Say when.
When? That's a little bit extra if there's a little bit going.
There, oh, there's enough of it. There you go, babe. I'll pop
Lovely.
that down and you can tell me what you think of it.
Very nice. Lamb's very tender and moist.
Oh, the potatoes good as well, and all the vegetables. What's the gravy like?
Veg is spot on.
Is it?
The gravy's got a nice flavour to it.
And it all goes well together?
It goes together beautifully.
Well, I hope that will fill your belly up on what is a cold November evening. I know I haven't made this one for a while. It was one of my Granny Hild's favourites. But I thought, you've worked hard all day, it's cold, and you need something to keep your belly warm as you've got to go out. I mean, when you get back later, you might want some soup, but hopefully that will fill you up for now until you get home later.
It will do.
And what mark would you give me?
At 9.5.
Well, that's lovely then. I'm so pleased that Dan likes the hot pot. It's easy and cheap to make, so why not have a go at it yourself one evening soon. Thanks for watching. See you again soon. Bye for now.